Expecto Patronus.
Bada bing, bada.
Hi.
Hi.
That was
Wow,
fun.
we've had a busy week.
Yeah. We've been
Mm-hmm.
working late.
Very late, yeah.
Why?
Fuck, what was it? I forget what I was supposed to say there. Why?
Because
Oh,
we're
because we were at.
podcasters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And because we were at Sabrina Carpenter. And that's our
that's
whole
it.
personality now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's
It was
all we'll be talking about.
it was such a moment of girlhood. I felt
Oh,
like just like
yeah.
every girl we encountered that night, including the ones who were not at the concert, were
Yeah.
girling,
Yeah. Yeah. It was
and we were
beautiful.
kind of exuding girliness.
Oh, for sure.
With all of our sparkles. So I think there was a part of us that was welcoming it, just by our physical appearance.
Oh, yeah.
But I loved it. Every girl I crossed path with pretty much started talking to me, and
I
made
think my
a new
favorite thing that
Instagram friend.
happened is that, and we'll get to that during story time, but
Mm-hmm.
also I feel like it's okay to say this, give a little taste.
Little
Tori, when
teaser.
she was in the bathroom at the Sabrina Carpenter concert, she started rep clowning in the bathroom with strangers. And
Yes.
I was just so upset that I wasn't there for that. But I live vicariously through thee. So
Amber and I are both dressed as witches today, or warlocks or wizards, whichever you prefer. I think I kind of identify with witch or wizard. Wizard just sounds badass.
I feel like wizard is. I do feel like a witch, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Wizard just works.
Mm-hmm.
It just does something.
I've got on the Gryffindor school robes, even though I am a Ravenclaw. But we'll just say I'm going as Hermione today to kind of cover that up. I do have her wand.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Tori looks really cute, and her hair is just matching the whole vibe. Like you actually, it's giving Hermione very much. So
Yes.
great job.
Thank
My
you.
look is a little bit of a mashup of things. So I do have, I would say, a witch's hat on, and it is from Mr. Dunderbox, and so it is. I don't know if you can see Tori.
It says Stefan. Stefan. Something like that.
Yeah, that was great. You did such a good
Thank
job.
you.
It's as if you're German. And then I also have on the cloak of invisibility,
Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. By the way, I will say
it does work. It's a green
it's like
screen
a
on the inside.
velvet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always wondered how that worked. Oh my god. Okay, because I had seen that. Don't you have to like use an app for it, right?
Yes. Correct. Yes.
So cool.
No big deal. And then I did also sport my snake because I am a Slytherin. And last but not least, my favorite accessory is this wand. This is my son James's wand from Universal, and we went with the grandparents and all the grandkids. So there's 4 grandkids, and their Grammy was like, okay, everybody gets to pick out their wand, and everybody, all the boys were picking out, like, I think they all got Voldemort's wand, and James picked this one because of the pretty pink gem on the end, and it is
beautiful,
stunning. Yeah,
is that someone's wand? Like,
it is.
Is it Luna's?
No, it's it was one of the characters, I think, from Fantastic Beasts, and I can't remember
Okay.
offhand. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it is this, like, the handle is this like awesome pink gemstone. And it's pretty epic. He keeps this by his bedside table.
Perfect. Gotta be
just
safe.
in case you gotta, never
know who you gotta bada bing.
Yeah. Yep.
Amber tonight also has a very fitting name. She is Gandalf the Grey. So she's chosen alliteration tonight as well. I will say I hate it. Just because it kind of triggers some feelings about walking.
Oh, wow. That was like a really strong reaction. No, that's fine. I love Gandalf. And we just finished the Rings of Power. So
Okay.
And it's like the backstory of Gandalf, and so it was really epic. Yeah. Anyway, fucking Gandalf's great, but I get it. You're tired of the alliteration. That's
what it
a
is.
strong
Yeah.
feeling.
No,
It's fair.
I
You've been
was
stuck
like
with it for
playing
a
it up.
while.
I was playing it up a bit. I will say, if I had to choose a favorite character from Lord of the Lord of the Wings,
David Attenborough voice. That's what that's giving. I like it.
if I had to choose a favorite character from Lord of the Rings, it probably would be Gandalf or any of the hobbits because
I love the hobbits. Yeah.
they're hot.
I also really, really love the elves. I love the dwarves as well. They're sassy. So I don't know. I have a hard time choosing.
That's pretty much all the characters in
Right.
except for the trees. You did leave the trees out.
Oh, I love the trees. No, I love the trees. I love the trees. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just everybody. It's all magical. I don't like the orcs. I hate the orcs. The orcs are terrifying. Tori today is voluptuous and vivacious, and that just scratches a piece of my brain because of the letters being similar at the end and at the beginning. Just chef's kiss. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Cool. So updates this week. We had a lot of like cutting bangs energy that was kind of flying around in between us. And I did it.
Yeah.
I just did it.
She did it professionally, honestly. She's a
I'm
professional
so
curly bang hair cutter.
I'm so happy with it, if I'm being honest. They were like, the first time I did it, they were a little thin, I think, which is what you guys would see if you look at the pictures from the Sabrina Carpenter show. And then I just added a tiny bit more to the bangage today.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with it. It came out good, I think.
It's giving adorable. Yeah. Super cute.
Thank you. That's what I was going for.
Yeah. Yeah, we like it a lot. Is that our only update? I mean, that's a great update, I think. But that's our only update this week.
You were supposed to give us an update on if your work friends like kept seeing you leave the chat over and over again because it kept like disappearing.
They didn't. That's so funny you asked. But we were texting on Friday, and my boss just said something like fucking stupid, and I texted them, Amber has left the chat. And
oh my God.
Like a few hours later we were talking again, and I responded, and he was like, "Oh, you're back." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Wait, did you actually leave, or did you just type that?" And I was like, "No, you freaking goober, I typed it."
Right, it has the blue bubble around it, sir.
Well, he's not an iPhone user.
Oh God, so who knows what it shows up like for him?
Right. That's a question I don't even venture to guess.
No, he's playing with fire over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am just pulling up the lives because we are clowning tonight. So
oh yeah, that could be under updates. We've gotten some new dresses since Taylor's been back on tour. We've got a new rep bodysuit, which is insane. The snakes are they golden or are they silver?
Yeah,
they're golden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is really cool that we went from red to gold. I feel like that means something.
I saw a TikTok, when she's like sitting in the chair and it says "Et tu, Brutus" like under her hands. Yeah. She's got red snake ring and then a gold snake ring, and then there's a silver snake ring too. So
yes,
they were saying maybe the next one is going to be silver snakes. I want to see green snakes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but I love that reference. If it is that, that would be so cool.
It really would, yeah. And then, man, she's really been toying with us with Debutation.
There's been there's 2 Debutation mashups so far, right? During surprise songs.
Yes.
Which is like, she knows what she's doing.
100%. And what does green mean? Is green for both of them now because they're just getting put out on the same day? What does it all mean, Taylor? Allison? Swift.
What does it mean?
I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
Or is it just TS12 that's plaid? Or is all the plaid referencing the green Reputation room in the Lover House on stage, which has plaid wallpaper now?
I can't wait till we actually have the answers that we seek, because I want to see how deluded we've been the whole time. Like, everything has become a sign, and I just want to know how much of this is real and how much of this have we made up.
I think like 90% of it at least is delusion, maybe more.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, the odds are not in our favor.
Okay. Interesting.
But
I thought you were going to say 90% like in our favor. Like a 90%.
Oh, hell no.
That's so funny.
No, I've clowned too close to the sun enough to know that we are usually not right. So, but yeah. I will say, I had the thought today too, that I'm clowning again for rep in February if we don't get it before.
Oh my goodness. If we don't get it this year, I think I simply cannot.
The coffee cup, on the 2.
She's never going to forget about this freaking coffee cup, guys.
We're
going to be hearing about this. Go. She's going to be in the grave haunting people. She's laughing up at us from hell.
It's me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you.
Yeah. So we've been clowning pretty hard. I was really thinking we might get something last night and we didn't. But maybe tonight's the night. I'm not feeling as good about tonight.
Okay.
I think the next day everyone keeps saying, and again, I don't know all the math and the science behind it. I like how I call it science. Like,
oh, it's definitely science. Yeah.
When I just said 90% of it is probably wrong.
And that's on being a Swiftie.
But I'm thinking 11/1. I keep hearing that date thrown around. I did see a couple things on why, but I feel like I'm not well versed enough to speak on it at this point.
If I had to guess, and I'm not well versed either, I think we're gonna get. Oh, okay, so I think we could possibly get an announcement on 11/1, and then she drops them both on her birthday. But then again, I still feel like she has to stick with there will be no explanation. So I feel like with rep, wouldn't it just make sense for her to just drop it and not tell us ahead of time?
Yeah. So I heard something kind of like this, but flip-flopped. What if she puts out TS12? Because I don't think we've talked about this on here yet, but I forget what the magazine was. But one of the magazines reported that they heard from an inside source that Taylor Swift wants to put out new music and then take some time off and be with Travis for a while. Whatever publication that was, I forget which one it was. It's one that Treepain usually uses to put out information about Taylor Swift. So it's thought that it could be Treepain who said that, which is leading us to a TS12. So what if we get TS12 and then she drops, because for Midnights at 3 a.m. she dropped one. At 2 a.m. for the anthology, she dropped the second album. Midnight, she dropped, it wasn't a whole second album, but it was like an extra 7 or 8 songs or something at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then we got a whole other album at 2 a.m. So what if at 1 a.m., Reputation, no explanation? So it's Karma, TS12, and then Reputation at 1 a.m., no explanation, because they're tied together anyway.
I love that.
That kind of just came to me. I saw something similar saying like Karma and Reputation come out at the same time, and the whole 3-2-1 thing just kind of popped into my head. So,
oh my god, okay,
holding out for that.
Well, we're definitely clowning as per usual.
One could say that, yeah. So we've got the lives up, and we'll keep you posted if anything crazy happens. What's going on this week?
I mean, all week long, I just wanted the week to be over so we could go to Sabrina Carptener, and that's pretty much all I focused on. And it was actually such a good week. It felt really good to be back in the normal swing of things work-wise, like after the hurricane and everything, like the last couple weeks, just getting back to the huge. But yeah, the concert was the main thing, and it was so epic. We had such a good time. The morning after, we were not so sure if we had a great time.
Oof.
It took us a while to decide how we were feeling in retrospect. But then once we had some chicken nuggets and stuff, we were okay.
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter pretty much consumed my week mentally, at least, as well. Still kind of catching up from the hurricane, but like things felt a little calmer this week. And yeah, I was just looking forward to the concert all week. And I started packing like Monday because I was just so excited. I'm not like a early packer. I'm more of a extremely last minute packer typically.
Yeah, same. Mm-hmm. I did pack last minute. Tori was on top of her game. I feel like I had a mental checklist, and really the main thing was just like glitter and the dress. There was a trail of glitter behind us, that's for sure. My son also had a fall festival at his school, and it was so adorable. All of the parents who set up for the trunk or treat had like a little game at their car. My favorite one was an Inside Out theme, and they filled a baby pool with like hay and then these like little just like different color balls, and you have to like search for one of the feelings. And once you find your feeling, that color is like what bin you get to pick your candy from. There were like all these different color bins set up. And it was just so cute. Fun. They had so many things like that. There was one person who did like a obstacle course where you like hopscotch down these pavers. And then they had like a balance beam set up that was just like a piece of wood that they put on some cinder blocks. And then they had laser beams that you had to go through, which was just like string that they put, red string that was back and forth between two of the cars. It was so cute.
Oh, man, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, and he just had a blast just running around. And it was just the two of us because my older son had a football game that he needed to get to. So we divided and conquered. And so the best part was that he dressed as Ant-Man, which is a little bit obscure, and not everybody knows who that even is. And so A, it was hard to find the costume, but B, like it covers him from head to toe because it's like a mask and the suit. And so he would just like run up to people that he knew like full force with the mask on, and he would just demand that they guess who he is.
Oh, what my goodness.
And he was so muffled under the mask too, because it was like a hard plastic mask. And so he's like running up to people, like telling them to guess who he is, but like the sound is kind of muffled. And so just see him like rip his mask off.
Like, did anyone guess right?
No, nobody guessed right. But they were all excited to see him underneath just because he was so excited. It was adorable. He just kept running up to people like, we're running out of there, and he sees this one kid and he's just running up to them, and the kid's like slowly backing away.
Oh my gosh.
It was cute. Yeah, we had a great time. It was very wholesome, and it was 8,000 degrees. Halloween in Florida is just a shame.
Yeah, it was tough getting a costume for my 15-month son because he's too young to tell me that he's too hot. So I don't want to put him in something head to toe, but literally every costume is like wool head to toe.
Yes.
It's always like some fuzzy material or something too. It's
always. Every baby costume is fuzzy. I remember Cole and James both, when they were a baby, were a cow. They wore the same costume, and it was the fuzzy material. They were cute cows.
I ended up, for Finn's Halloween costume, we ended up going Pikachu, and I was able to find a onesie that just has like Pikachu's like tail and marks on his back, but like it's a short sleeve and the legs are uncovered, so I can put some little shorts on him or something. Yeah, it's got little ears that like clip onto his head too, so
yeah, the ears are my favorite part.
Something.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be Ash Ketchum,
super
to
cute.
his Pokemon trainer. Yeah.
But yeah, that's been our week so far, and the weekend's been really chill. We slept in today. We had a football game last night, so it was a late night for us. So everybody slept in and had some leftover Mexican food. So Sean brought me a plate with rice and beans and a fried egg to my bath.
I love
for
that.
Brunch.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is great. And I had a really good cup of coffee Like sometimes, you just make that cup of coffee just perfect. And I didn't even have the good creamer. I just had like regular half and half. And recently
Perfect.
I've been very much enjoying my flavored creamer, which normally I'm not a flavored creamer girl.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes you just need a little bit of happiness. Oh, okay. Well, you put like milk in your coffee.
I just go milk, yeah.
Yeah, that is insane to me. That is the most crazy thing.
Like half and half has like the same effect for me. Like I'm okay with either. I just end up using milk because I have to buy milk anyways, so it's easier not to buy two things, you know? But I don't really notice the difference between half and half and
that's insane
milk.
To me. The fat content's different.
You do notice the difference?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate milk in my coffee.
Really?
I'll drink it
What's
black.
the difference?
I don't know. It just tastes like shitty half and half.
Okay.
To me. Like it's not as creamy.
Okay, I could see that.
So yeah, I think that's what bothers me. I do also don't mind if I have heavy cream. I'll use a little bit of heavy cream.
Okay.
Which is like,
so you like it real creamy.
Breve. I do like it creamier because I like my coffee really dark. I think that's why I do like a little bit of richness when it comes to the cream part, because the coffee is really rich. And if you don't balance it, then it's just really bitter.
That makes sense.
You like lighter coffee, so it actually makes sense that you use milk because you don't need
like the lightest.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That is funny. So I've been playing Mastermind lately. That's another little update. I actually meant to add that to the updates and I forgot. And Mastermind is where you guess all the outfits that Taylor's going to wear each night for the Air Store. And you guess like the surprise songs and stuff. For the longest time, I didn't play it because all the options were like overwhelming, especially the surprise songs.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've been playing it. It's been a lot of fun.
That's
you can
awesome.
actually like win stuff with it too. Like
cool.
they'll have like signed vinyls and like different gifts every night that go to the winner. Anyways, tonight I almost did purple and I didn't because I was thinking purple, Mardi Gras, Nola. Oh, maybe it's pink actually. Well, never mind. I would have gotten it wrong either way.
Is she in New Orleans again?
Yeah, she's in New Orleans tonight. I think it's either pink or purple, but now that I look at it, I think it's pink. So I would have had it wrong either way. So
where do you play that?
It's on an app. I can send it to you if you're interested.
Do that. That's so cool. Yeah. I was wondering how you guys were doing that. For some reason, I thought it was through TikTok because I know you did like the friendship bracelet thing. Wasn't that on TikTok?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep.
So this week for How Do We Feel About, we have pulled our inspiration directly from the Sabrina concert. And how do we feel about ... filming the entire concert? And this could be either them filming themselves or the person performing.
First of all, I just want to say that I really appreciate that you did say ... I wasn't sure if you were going to go there or not.
It did feel like I had to.
But I felt like that too.
Because it's in the segment title like that. So I think like if it was just a question mark, like we don't say what's going on this week ? But since there's a ... I feel like I have to say it. I'm not saying I love it, but I'm a rule follower.
Oh, sometimes. I appreciate that. Yeah. I love predictability.
Sometimes. Yeah.
So how do we feel about it? I will say that I don't love it. I feel like you're not really enjoying the concert. Like and also, what are you going to do with all that footage? Like, are you really going to go back and watch all of that? And like the girl in front of us, and they were young. They were like,
that's what I wanted to preface. Like they were having a great time. They looked beautiful.
And I love that.
They could not have been older than 16. They were quite young. And just, I think the majority that they filmed was of themselves singing the songs, which honestly, scream singing. Thank you for correcting. That was the part of it that really got me because I'm like, they're scream singing the lyrics to Taste, and I'm just like, it's just a bit off. It's just
Right.
a bit
It's
off.
like there's that part in Death by a Thousand Cuts, you know, the my heart, my hips, my I feel like that's like a scream singing moment.
Yeah.
But I think that that's just what the kids are doing. We're just out of touch
That's
because
what
the
they're.
kids.
Yes, and more
Mhm.
power to them because they were having a great time. But
Yeah.
they literally had their phones on the entire time, and it was distracting.
It is actually pretty distracting, yeah. And it is something that is really common now at concerts. I notice people bring external batteries for their phones because they know
Yeah.
that they're going to be filming the whole time, especially at the Eras Tour because it's so long.
Right. Yeah.
Which, if you're
Um.
live streaming it, by all means.
Yes, but
But
it's like it's not that. Like they're not.
mm-mm.
And I'm just watching them send like snap after snap after
Yeah.
snap to their friends, and I'm just thinking, listen, I love when my friends snap me and take me along with them for their night, but I don't want to see the whole hour and a half long concert via Snapchat. I
I
just
actually
don't.
hate. So I used to be pretty involved in the music scene in the area I live in. So I still get a lot of like concert Snapchats from my friends. Almost always I skip right through it. I don't want to, the audio is so bad on
Mhm.
Snapchat that like it hurts my ears. I don't want to be a
Yeah,
part of that. And I feel bad, but I skip right through it. I don't even listen a lot of the time. Every once in a while I'll like be in the mood and listen to it. But
yeah.
usually I regret it.
I really love when my friends send snaps when they're at our friends' band's show. That
Okay, yeah.
always, like, I'll watch as much of that as you want to, but that's like somebody I know and
Right.
love. So,
Mhm.
and not that, I mean, we love Sabrina, don't get us wrong, we love Taylor, but like, you don't need to film the entirety of their concert. And I will say, I
Mm-mm.
do feel like we're drinking a
Especially
bit of haterade with this. I'll acknowledge
mhm.
that we're being a little bit hatery,
We're out of
but we're
touch.
old.
Yeah.
You said
There
it.
were
Yep.
also, so we were 2 rows from the very, you couldn't get, we were 2 rows from the back wall of the stadium. Like you couldn't get any further
Up.
back. And they were three
Yeah.
rows from the back wall of the stadium.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not great
Directly
footage.
in front of us.
It's not great footage. And then also back to like, what are you really going to go back and rewatch all of that? Because one of the girls in front of us was going through and deleting all of her like old photos and stuff so that she could take more
Videos.
film videos. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, and she was speed deleting. I never seen something like that. I mean, none of that old shit mattered. Apparently she was not
Yeah.
screening it very well.
She said, "This has got to go." Girl, that's something you
Mm-hmm.
do ahead of time. You can't be in the venue deleting that. You're not going to, that's going to be poor judgment.
It
That's
could
not the
be.
time to
Yeah.
make a decision.
Right. So
I
yeah,
hope she
it
has
was
the cloud.
it was interesting. Yeah. And I think that's just an age gap thing. Again, the girls were having a great time and
They were
like
having a blast and they were
whatever it
adorable.
takes.
Honestly, like it was,
Mm-hmm.
there were times I found myself smiling at them. There were
Yeah.
also equally as many times that I scowled. So hopefully it just
Okay.
wasn't in the background of their videos, like those old people who are at Sabrina Carpenter scowling at us.
I did wonder how many times my face was just like showing up in the background.
And just like,
Sparkling. Yeah.
yeah, spark. You just see shimmers. Tori was a shimmery goddess.
Ooh, I think I got this outfit right. I think it's the new silver and blue. She's on Fearless.
Nice.
Which was so interesting that she had like a silver and blue dress for Fearless. It just
Yeah,
like isn't the Fearless colors at all.
that's
Um,
true. I didn't actually think about that.
yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like blue for debut, maybe, or maybe she just likes it. It is like it does have like the like kind of flingy bottom that a lot of the Fearless dresses have. So
Is it the one that looks like tentacles?
no, I hate that. It's shorter.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah, I hate
Good.
that
Good.
one.
I just, that's like, I love how
Tentacles.
sparkly it is, but I hate the tentacles. Yeah. It's
Uh-huh.
just like phallic for no reason,
It's not
honestly.
flattering either.
I mean, I think she could wear
Okay,
a garbage bag and she would look great, but it's just like,
right.
you might as well wear a garbage bag. You have tentacles on. I say with my wizard hat and cloak of invisibility.
Oh my gosh.
Hair. Like I'm the one to ask.
I think I keep getting like little bits of hair that like I cut but like didn't fall out yet, and they just keep like falling in my eyes. In my eyes.
Let me help you out with that. Here we go.
Thank you. Actually, it's all better now.
Yeah.
Wow. Good job.
I know. Yeah, James was asking if I could do magic spells through the computer when he was bringing me this.
Ooh,
and I was
what
like,
a smart question.
Obviously,
he's like, I know you can do magic, but can you do it through the computer?
Correct. Yeah. I love that there was no question about whether I would be doing magic. It was just like, can it go through the screen? Yeah. That's where we're stuck. Tell us about your Tinder ventures.
So for Tinder adventures this week, St. Paul I've still been talking to. He had a trip to Las Vegas, and then he's got like a wedding and some other stuff this weekend, so we haven't gotten together again. But we've been talking a lot, and you know, things seem to be going well there. I have a first date set up with the wizard next Saturday, so a week from now.
Me. I'm not the wizard that she's going on the date
not
with.
Gandalf the Grey, but a different wizard. We codenamed him Wizard last time. And yeah, so looking forward to that. That's the guy who like, he just seems like super supportive, and I really like that. And he also like has kids, and I don't know if him and like the baby mama to his children were married or not, but I assume that they have 2 kids together. So I assume that they were, you know, in a long-term relationship and split. So it's just kind of nice that he understands too a lot of what I'm going through. With splitting up with someone who I have a child with as well. So yeah, he's been he's been a sweetie.
What are you doing on your date?
Finally, I'm going to Pop Stroke, which is somewhere that I've been wanting to go to for a long time on many of these dates, and this is the first time that someone has agreed to it. So it's mini golf, but like Tiger Woods designed it, and it's kind of like fancy mini golf. Like it looks like a real golf. It's got like greens and like fake little sand traps.
That's cool.
But it is mini golf. Yeah. And there's, you know, a bar there and a couple different courses, I think. So yeah.
That's fun.
Should be fun. Yeah. Looking forward to it. And he's going to drive. He lives like an hour about from me, and he's going to drive to like my side. For the date. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's really it. I haven't been swiping as much, just because like I feel like I've got quite a few good conversations going on. So, I went on a date last Sunday with who we're calling Bill Nye. And he's like really into biology and like you know, identifying plants and like a lot of the stuff that I do for work and that I'm also into. So it's cool to have that in common. He has been a little less chatty, like via text. The date went well, and he, you know, wanted to plan another one. But yeah, he's been a little less like chatty via text. So I don't know if he's just like not. We also hadn't texted a lot before we went on the date too. So he might just not be like a huge texter, which is fine. But I feel like if that's the case, like maybe I would need to get together more often. Or maybe even do like phone calls or something. But like, I don't know. It just feels like a little more distant than some of the other people I'm talking to. But it was a good date and it went well. It was really nice. And he came and played disc golf with me. So it was he had never played disc golf before. So I thought that was kind of cool that he like went totally out of his element. Yeah.
You are a good person to do disc golf with for the first time. I can speak to that.
Yay.
She's a good teacher. Very gentle.
I don't know about
gentle
all that.
Parent.
Yes, definitely gentle. I don't know about a good teacher.
I think you are.
My first text, this is a kind of long one, and it is in our That's So Funny chat with Shoshana and Sam and Amber. And I think Shoshana is kind of the main star of this one. And I think both of my first two texts. So Shoshana texted and said, I'll say it until I die. Neopets needs to make an app. What are we doing, folks? And Sam said, I don't know. They need to get on it, though. And Shoshana says next, I messaged their IG and she sent a screenshot of her messaging the Neopets.
She brought receipts.
Yes, official account. And she's in that screenshot, she said to the Neopets account, please make an app. The millennials are begging. And then she said, we'll keep you posted to us. She said, we need boots on the ground action at this point, which she was putting in the work. Yeah. And then Sam said, yes, I love that. And she shared a gif of from Reno 911, the new boot goofing. And then Amber, before all of this, had said something about the cloud. So I think this is one of those moments when we're having like two conversations at once. And Shoshana responds to that and says, I don't know. I asked someone to explain Wi-Fi to me one time and they started talking about underwater cables in the ocean and I had it. It's all made up. And I said, somehow the men are behind it. And she said, the fucking patriarchy, how Wi-Fi works is none of our business. We're just girls. And I said, it's just not cute. And she said, no cables in the ocean. Hate that. Get them out of there. And I said, that's not where cables go. Cable 101, no water.
That was a good one. Solid. Thanks. Okay, so my first text is from Birdie, and I will say it's not entirely funny because her 4-year-old had pneumonia this past week. She was quite sick and had to go to the urgent care and get like breathing treatments.
Wow.
And she had to do breathing treatments at home and stuff. So it was just like really, it was a rough week. And so I was just texting to check in and ask her, you know, how BG was doing. And she texted me back and she said, she's doing better. The middle of the night breathing treatments were so fun, like in sparkles.
Okay.
And she said, it gave me flashbacks of dealing with Laurel while she's blackout drunk, trying to piss in the bed and fight everyone. And I have to give a little context. Laurel was one of our roommates. And she would just, she was a feisty little thing, very tiny, short, petite, little redhead. And she would just, how you can explain Laurel, I don't really know. And I probably shouldn't be saying her government name. I should have codenamed it, but I'm not going to because she's like a cute little bear. And she just would get drunk and try to fight people. And then she'd be like running through the apartment naked or, you know, just something absolutely insane. And you're just like simultaneously laughing your ass off, but also like cut the shit, Laurel. So yeah, I just thought that was a funny visual. Her getting blackout drunk and trying to piss the bed and fight everyone.
Oh my God.
Girl power.
What an impression.
Yeah. Quite the impression, if you will.
Quite the impression. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next one is also from the That's So Funny group chat. Shoshana said, not me listening to OOT, shout out of touch. Nice. And being scared, I said it couldn't be worse because the title of our last episode was It Could Be Worse. And Shoshana was worried that she had told me that. And I was like, I don't think you did. And then she said, and also Tinder should have a rating system like Uber, LMAO. And this is one of the best ideas I've ever heard in my life.
That's like, a great idea.
It should be on the person's profile from people who've been on dates with them. Like Tinder should ask you or Bumble or whatever, any of these apps and be like, have you gone on a date with it? You've been chatting for a while. Have you gone on a date with this person? And you can say yes or no and 5 stars or not. And that would be good. It's good for the person.
Leave me a Google review on my Tinder.
Yes. And it's good for the other people looking into that person.
I agree.
And it holds people accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some of these buffoons need it. So
yeah, I feel like we should make an app.
Neopets and Tinder and dating profile apps.
Neopets did get back to her, actually. I don't think I have that in my text, but they said that they're working on it.
Yeah, that's Absolutely. Epic.
I can't wait for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
So we just have to make the dating profile scoring
Mm-hmm.
thing.
So my second text is also from Birdie, because who else do I text if not Tori and Birdie?
And we were together a lot of the week, so we
Yeah,
weren't texting.
we weren't texting a lot. So I had called her and she didn't pick up, and so she texted me and said, "Call you in 7 minutes?" Question mark. And I said yes, but only if exactly 7 minutes. And she said bet. And then about 20 minutes later, she texted me and said, "I failed. Ah!" And then proceeds to send me a picture of this like insanely beautiful hunk of fresh ginger from her farm.
Oh,
So I just thought that was an excellent display of duality. Like just like us trying to get on the phone, we can't. And then here's this beautiful hunk of ginger. And I think actually she did send me the hunk of ginger and we were on the phone at the time.
okay.
Like I think she did
Okay.
call me, but I was like, it wasn't after 7 minutes. So
Well, good on you for accepting the call because you did kind of set your boundaries.
I did. I really
Yeah.
did.
Okay, so my next one is from Amber, and I'm gonna take a note out of Amber's book and provide a little bit of context here. That this was at Amber sent this first text at 6:30 a.m. And it's kind of how all of our mornings start. She said, "I would really love to crawl back into my bed now."
Mm-hmm.
And that is our grumpy text of the morning. That usually one of us is sending it in the morning.
Yeah.
I said, "I just got done working." And I asked myself, why? And Amber said, "Girl, baby girl, it's so early. I fear the fever hath taken over." And I said, "LMAO, definitely calling out. Boss, you don't get it. I worked out at 6 a.m. And then Amber says, "Oh, working out makes so much more sense." And it's funny because I didn't realize until I went back into my text for the funny text segment that I had typoed that. I thought that I had typed, "I just got done working out," but I
No,
didn't. There was no
you
out
said
there.
I'm working early. Why? Because I'm an ecologist. That's what I thought. I'm like,
And
what
I
are you
also
doing
said I
working
just
this
got
early?
done working too. So it's like, what were
How
you
long have
doing
you
out
been
there,
doing
Tori?
this? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you just put in 8 hours?
Yeah. Worked an overnighter.
My last one is from Amber, and she asked me how much money she owed me because we both like had paid, just with our cards from the Sabrina show. So she's like, "I think I owe you this much. Does that sound right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "Okay, I'll venom you now." Then she said, "Nope." Then she said, "Son of a birch, Siri."
That one got me. That one really got me. I was so fucking mad. You son of a birch. Come on. It's so catchy though. Like I'm just gonna start saying son of a birch.
Son of a birch. And then she said, "Gonna venom you up." And that's the end of that one.
It's even funnier hearing it. It's so lame to laugh at your own jokes, but I just
No, that was good. It's fresh too. It was pretty recent. I had already had my funny text.
yeah, that was like an hour ago.
Gotta add this one. Gotta add that.
That's great.
I can't even say it. I'll venom you.
I'll venom you up. I got you. That's amazing. So, what do we have for consumptions this week? Let's see. Okay. So we have a book. Birdie and I decided to start reading a series together. And we've both kind of been putting it off for a while. So it is Sarah J. Maas, who you probably recognize her name, Tori. She wrote all the other fairy books that I love.
Yep.
This one is, I believe it was her, I'm pretty sure this one was her first series.
Oh, okay. And you haven't read it yet?
No, it's 8 books.
Okay.
And the reason that I didn't read this one is because I started with her series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and that was so epic. And I had tried to start Throne of Glass previously, but there's actually two of the books are supposed to be read in reverse, even though technically one of them came out before the other. The way the story is told, I guess, makes more sense and is more
Oh,
engaging if you read the books in like switching those two books.
I'm so weird. I always refuse to do that. If that happens, I'm like, no, I'm gonna read them in the way that they came out. But I've
Right.
seen that happen before where it's like you could read it this way and like it
Yes.
is actually interesting to read it
Yes.
this way. So,
So I tried to read it. I did do that originally. When I tried to start the series, I bought the book that came out chronologically first. I thought
okay.
it was boring as hell and
Okay.
I wasn't engaged. And I also just got the impression that it um, read more YA than ACOTAR was.
Okay.
ACOTAR is true fantasy. And so I just kind of had this impression that like maybe I wouldn't like it as much. But then as the years have gone on, I'm like, you know what? People talk really highly about this series, so I think I will actually really love it. Um, and so far, it's really, really good. I've only read 3 chapters, and I'm already more engaged than I was, so I feel like that's a good sign. And it also helps to know that I'm reading it with someone.
Yeah. Did you start on the first chronological one this time or
No, this time we're reading it
okay.
in the way the author suggests. So we're starting with Throne of Glass. The other one I think is called
Okay.
Assassin's Blade. So the premise
Okay.
of the books, it follows Selena Sardothian. And I don't know if you noticed in the note, I actually did put in the phonetic um,
Smart.
pronunciation because I was so afraid I would not be able to pronounce that. Um,
You
so
did
Selena
good.
is thanks. She is a assassin, and the book starts out, and she is actually being held basically captive because she was an assassin, and so she's working in a mine essentially, and her captors one day come and find her and they bring her in front of the crown prince, and the crown prince puts before her a way to earn her freedom, which is that she has to compete in um, a challenge against the world's greatest assassins, 23 of the world's greatest assassins. And
Okay.
essentially, if she wins, she'll get to be the personal assassin to the king for a period of time, and then she'll be granted her freedom. So I believe she's got to be the king's personal assassin for 5 years, and then she'll be granted her freedom. So it is kind
Okay.
of, it's like a pretty drawn out way to get her freedom, but it does grant her her freedom. So of course she accepts, but she
Mhm.
thinks these guys are asshats.
Okay.
So she seems like a total bamf, and I'm really excited. Badass motherfucker.
I was going through different I thought bitch ass motherfucker. What's the
But I
first one?
actually, badass
Boss
mama
ass.
jamma feels more right. So what would that be? Badass mama jamma, bamj.
Yeah.
Not as catchy as bamf,
Doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Yeah.
but I do like calling someone mama jamma.
Yeah.
That's going to be my screen name next week.
I think it's
Um,
better not as a acronym.
mm, right. Yep,
Mhm.
you nailed it. So yeah, it's a good book so far, and it actually is part mystery, I think, because
Hmm.
per the summary, um, during the competition, the other competitors start being like murdered or like they keep dying mysteriously. So
Okay.
she's already trying to survive a competition against assassins because I would assume they have to fight to the death. Um, Maybe not. I'm not sure if that's unclear. We'll report back
I
on
was
that as I
assuming
respond.
that as well. But
But I
yeah,
think
I'm
it's a fight
interested
to
to
the
hear.
death, I would assume. But it seems like people are mysteriously dying. So she's also going to be figuring out what's going on there. And the
Okay.
other series that I have told on the podcast, Crescent City, the reason I liked Crescent City is because it did feel very murder mystery vibes, because the best friend gets murdered and the main character is basically trying to find out who killed her best friend. And then in the other books, they're uncovering other things. So it's very mystery vibes. So I'm hoping to get kind of a similar vibe with Throne of Glass.
Heck yeah. I am interested to